or if you don't want to be videotaped, when you raise your hand, what we'll try to do is just cut off the tape, or we'll find some way of editing that out, making sure we don't use that part of the footage if we would put it up online or something like that. Okay? So, nothing too intrusive. Although we do have some chairs in the middle, and we might pull you out here and zoom in real tight, so we could do that. What was that? Not nice? No? Alright. It's not that we're planning to put Well, why don't we go ahead and get started. Thank you all for making the trek, for handling the last minute change in venue. We appreciate that. My name is Brad Moore. I'm with 317 Consulting Services. Hopefully you're all here for sales revival strategies for small business, correct? Okay. Alright. Excellent. Carrie Martin Moore is my business partner, and she also happens to be my bride. So she will be jumping up and sharing with you from time to time as well. And Buddy is our intrepid AV guy, the junior genius in the background, so he's going to take care of videotaping and that kind of thing. Okay, so why don't we do this? Take a minute, read this quote right here from Mr. Everson, and let's see if we can get some reaction from you. What do you think? Okay, I've got a "that's true." Any dissensions, comments, thoughts?
Who said that's true?
That was Rebecca.
All right, there you go.
Only that others perceive our enthusiasm. Other people perceive that.
Okay.
And we interact with them, so that's why it's so important.
Okay, so other people perceive it, but what do they get when they see our enthusiasm? Do they get excited?
Yeah.
Okay. They might get motivated? Okay.
Interest.
Megan?
Never mind.
No, please. Okay.
Alright. Establish a relationship with trust.
Okay. So how does enthusiasm translate to trust?
I believe.
Okay.
You're only enthusiastic in what you believe in.
Okay.
And when you believe in it, it comes across.
Okay.
And that's the selling point of trust.
Okay, so if I have no enthusiasm, if I would stand up here tonight and drone like the teacher in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right? if that was my presentation style, how much would you take away from this thing?
Like, and he's teaching us
Yeah,
why.
if you actually stayed awake, I would be surprised, right? So, enthusiasm, excuse me, enthusiasm is important. So, as we are going through this whole process, each of you has a business. You're in sales on some level. You are doing something to build a business. If you're not enthusiastic about what you're doing, then we might want to consider remarketing a resume or something along those lines. So let's talk about, this is our agenda for the evening. These are the things that we're going to talk about. The importance of 30 seconds. We're going to talk about some tips and the idea that everybody is in sales. No matter what you do, no matter where you are, no matter what your title is on your business card, you're a salesperson. Aligning resources in sales today versus sales, well, let's just call it yesterday generically for now. And this notion of just asking, and then we'll do some Q&A and share some best practices together. Okay? So, question for you. How is selling like the picture that you see there?
Because you're painting a picture for the person and making them realize what you see, the vision that you have, they should have as well. And in order for them to buy from you, they need to have the same vision that you have.
Yes. Bless you. And so, we might know that there's a bridge there, right? but hello,
Come on
welcome.
Sorry, I was at the library.
I think most of us were at some point. There's a seat for you right there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So
Okay, thank you.
we may know as a vendor, okay, we'll call ourselves vendors for a moment. Let's see how that works. As a vendor, we know there's a bridge there. Does the customer have a clue where that bridge leads right now? If they've never seen you, if they don't know who you are, what your product or service is, would they have any idea where that bridge leads? What's the significance, right? So what we've got to do is then figure out a way to take them across that bridge, across that little chasm, right? But they're still in the fog, so what we've got to do is we've got to help them turn on the lights somehow, so that they can now see it more clearly. Now, one of the other things that I think is remarkable about this is, if you've ever been in a really dark room, if you're by yourself, it's a little intimidating, isn't it? If you've got other folks and you can hold hands and you can reach out and find the walls, it's a little bit less scary, right? And if you've got a big group of people, suddenly it's easy to find the walls and you know where those outer limits are. Bless you. And once you find those outer limits, now you can start taking steps forward at a much greater pace than if you were by yourself and you're kind of cringing, trying to figure out, what am I doing? There's another analogy here that I'm going to throw out. Let's see what you guys think of this. If you're in that foggy space and you know somewhere there's gold, it's kind of like this, right? You can't see. And instead of doing this and saying, is the gold over there? Is the gold over there? Is the gold over there? What's a better approach? This is the interactive part.
Take
Yeah.
your hand out and have somebody tell you where's the gold.
Yes. Ask. Have somebody tell you, where is the gold? I have goodies for people who participate.
Just like, where is the class?
Yeah.
Where's the class? Exactly. So instead of groping in the dark, let's figure out what are the resources that we have at our disposal so we can cross that bridge more quickly with greater strength, with greater enthusiasm, with more confidence, and we get there more quickly. Okay? So that's what this room is all about, right? How many of you had a goal when you walked in here tonight to do a little bit of networking? Okay. I should see all of your hands going, okay? Maybe both, yeah. Okay. So, because of that, one of the things that I'd like to talk to you about is your 30-second pitch, your elevator pitch. And just how important is that 30 seconds that you've got. And you know what, folks, 30 seconds, I gotta tell you, that might be generous. 30 seconds is a long time. So you might only have 8 or 10 or 12 seconds. If you're actually in an elevator, unless it's somewhere in New York and they got like 60 stories, you know, you've got 8 to 10 seconds. So what are you going to say in that 8 to 10 second window to grab their attention where it's purposeful and meaningful and has value for them? So here's what we're going to do. This is your chance. I'm not expecting any of you to be Randy Johnson right now, okay? But in pairs, what I'd like you to do is practice your 30-second pitch. What does it sound like? Let's do a couple of rounds of practice real quick. Let's think about this. How many of you go to a networking group, Team, Latit, BNI, REN, Corona Networking Solutions, something like that? Once a month, once a week, okay? Most of you do one of those. Okay. If you go to one of those events, that 30-second pitch is radically different from when you're at a networking event like a mixer and somebody comes up and says, hey, what do you do? Isn't it? It's very different. Because when you stand up at the networking event where you've got a set little chunk of time to be able to say, this is who I am, this is what I do, you have no interaction. There's no expectation for interaction. It's just you giving a spiel for a few seconds. But when somebody comes up to you at a networking event or a mixer and they say, hey, what do you do? Now you have a chance to engage, right? So you've got apples and oranges. They're totally different things. So when you stand up at a big event and you've got that 15 to 30 second window, what do you say? Introduce yourself. Please don't forget your name. Okay? I've heard people do that before. And we wonder, okay, it sounds like the business might be interesting, but I don't know who they are. So don't forget your name. Don't forget your company name. And then what do you do? And what problem do you solve? So I'm Brad, I'm with 317 Consulting Services. We do sales coaching, business coaching, training and consulting, and I get to help salespeople sell more. That's really pretty much what I say, okay? Now, my hope with that is, what do you think?
You can make more business.
Ask questions.
People ask
Okay, did I get more business ultimately? Yeah. Then people are going to ask questions about it. What does that mean? I get to help salespeople sell more. Okay, so when I'm done with that, and it goes to the next person around the room, that's going to resonate with somebody, and they're going to come up to me after the event, and they're going to want to get my business card and ask me a question, right? Okay. Now, somebody that comes up to me and says, what do you do? Oh, I get to help salespeople sell more. So it's variations on a theme. So let's pair up, and let's do this, because I don't want anybody to get too comfortable with the person that they came with. So I'm going to get you out of your comfort zone and just walk across the room. Get up, mingle, let's get some blood flowing a little bit.